Hey, so economic loss analysis has traditionally been one of those areas of claim preparation that's kind of really sucked because you've either got to try to do it yourself through a lot of really tedious calculations to get what you're actually after, or you've got to send this off to a forensic accountant or an actuary and hope that they read your mind as to what you're actually after. But now the economic loss analysis tool in ClaimCal changes that, puts the power back in your hands to iterate your way to what you're actually after and tell the story without all the math. And then if you need to, you can send it off to your expert to get their credibility on deck and fine tune it as well. So from here, let's start comparing earnings periods, and you'll see very quickly what I mean. This is quite a powerful way to get what you wanted. So we'll put the claimant data set in. Obviously, you would get your information from the ATO about the earnings history. And then we provide you with the template you can use to download, plug that in, and then upload it. When I prepared earlier, I dropped that in. Here we go. It's got that ready to go. It draws it on the chart, already starting to look visual. And now we'll just tighten that up to when that was. I can see 94. There we go. Chart is looking tidier already, just using that data that we provided. Now we can compare that to how this person would have performed had they not had the accident. Average weekly earnings figures, pretty handy for that. So now we switch over to the comparison data set. We'll add the earnings period in for that. It's already figured out what period we probably need. Go for the ABS data. We'll choose the data set that we're after and plug that in, and we can change this later to fill it into what we're after. So there we go. We can have a pretty good guess as to where the injury likely occurred, and we can really see very visually, what the impact of that has been. Once you've established that there has been a loss, and compensation has to follow, and this sort of tool helps prevent claims getting lost in the weeds through just like a wall of numbers. Like, you can see the wall of numbers if you want to, like there you go. But this is a much more powerful storytelling tool for your claim. We can add in the superannuation figures. This can all be changed if you want to. And then we can even start to annotate this a bit and modify things as well if you think that there would have been a promotion or something. So let's pop that in. Let's say promotion would have occurred in the period of, say, 09, let's say, to onwards. Grab that. There we go. And let's say that would have been maybe 15%. And already we can see that that's appearing. And we say, oh, maybe that's a bit ambitious. I can dial that back to 10. I can dial that back to 5. And the graph will take shape and show you the calculations that those numbers result in. Very importantly too, we'll go and put an annotation on there to show what that is. And now we're going to show what was the loss period. So it's probably around about 04. There we go. And then we'll just say onwards to the end. And that's our loss period that we're calculating for. Helpfully, I can turn that on and off. This is the loss line section. So we're starting to get a sense of what that loss likely is. So traditionally, maybe your expert pulls a figure out of the air as to what they think the impairment of the client is. Here we can actually see it and we can calculate it, and then we can start to say, let's switch this on. So it's going to calculate the difference between the comparison set and then what's the loss attributable to the impairment. So we can say impairment might have been around 20% to be conservative, and there we go. Now we're starting to get those figures calculated, and we can go and say, I want this to include the tax calculation, so we get the net figures. There we go. So now we've got net, the total lost earnings for the period. We've got the average weekly net loss of that, so after tax and everything. And then we've also got the superannuation figures as well. So we've got all this data now that we can plug into our schedule of damages using the damages calculator tool, which is also included in ClaimCal. But as you can see, you've now got this ability in your hands as a lawyer to really get this on the page, play around with it, and get the story that fits your case and presents the strongest argument that you can defend in your matter. And if you need to, then you can send it off to the actuary to get their credibility and fine tuning on that as well. And you can export this all as a neatly formatted report in Microsoft Word, so you can edit further or copy and paste or even just submit as is. So there you go. Give it a try. First 3 cases, you can use it for free. And after that, it's just a disbursement to the client. So never really hits the bottom line of the firm. And of course, this is something you do maybe near the end of the case, whatever your choice is. But there you go. Power's in your hands now as lawyers. No more number crunching, and you can tell the story and get all the figures that you need to back up your case. Cheers.